Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on it. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Critical times for Bitcoin. Looks like we may go lower. 111,000. I see a bear flag, but a possible bounce right now. Stay tuned. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on it. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show. We're going to break it down right now, get that music back up and running, and kind of give you one of the shows that you've been waiting for. One of the greatest shows ever. Let's see what happens to Bitcoin. You never know. We might make one of the greatest trades of our lives. We may not. We'll see what happens today here on BTC. Bitcoin falling. 112,000 looks like the likely candidate for the liquidity. Look at the buys right there waiting for entry. You know, big red. But hey, maybe we bounce. Maybe these longs sustain and we hold 112.5. Let's take a look at what's happening to the price action. Let's take a look at what I'm seeing. And, you know, you can see what you're seeing. And together we can have some fun. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here and appreciate you for spending your most precious asset, which is your time, here on the Crypto Lifer Show. We strive, me and my team, to do the best we can every single day to bring you the hottest technical analysis and the awesome updates constantly, 7 days a week. So let me take a sip here. And let's get this show on the road, baby. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to be here. Let's get the motivation going. Let's go, baby. Boom. What am I talking about, man? Let's be appreciative of every single moment. Let me put 110 million% into this show. Let's take a look at what's happening here for Bitcoin. Let's get that music back up and running. Want something with a little more of a oomph here. Get us ripping. Hold on. I'm going to change up the flow here and get us going. Too mellow. I picked too mellow, I feel, of a genre this morning. And we want it to kind of move a little better than that. Right? Okay. So Bitcoin, 112,000 looks like the likely candidate. Let's take a look here at what's happening on the chart, shall we? I talked about this being a bear flag this morning. If you looked at my update, and I even gave a short because I said, hey, it's likely that they're going to dump this thing to the downside. So I'm looking short for Bitcoin right off the bat. If you're in my trading group, you know exactly what I'm saying. I'm going to dig that up right now and kind of just show you what I'm looking at. Again, I'm a simple guy. If you traded this upside down, you'd say we were on the other side of the 200 moving average, touching the 21. We had all the movement to pump. And honestly, a funny thing is every single time Bitcoin's dumped recently, I've been able to find the exact similar positional strength on the 1 minute, call the 4 hour double, and we've gotten the move. And I've been able to call reversal after reversal. This is the first time where I'm telling you right now, like I saw the reversal and we didn't get it. And what I'm talking about is I'd watch the 1 minute like a hawk. And what I'm always waiting for is clean movement above the 1 minute moving average. Anyway, I'm going to clean this all up. I'm going to kind of reveal what I'm saying, but I see more downside here for Bitcoin. Just to kind of open this up here on the 1 hour time frame. Our entry rare is at 113.5. Bitcoin now is down near $1,000. And imagine if you were given the call this morning, you'd never shorted in your life, right? And you see this move to the downside. Sorry, this isn't the call. Let me make sure I show the actual call over here. Trying to see where I put it. Let me just double check because I want to make sure I'm not putting out nonsensical. Nonsensical over here. Yeah, right here. So this is the bear flag that I, talked about. Again, it's not huge, but it's up nice. 113,177. All right, it's down to 112,200. So it's down $1,000 so far on the call, which is pretty dang good. I can make a pretty dang, days pay on and off getting $1,000 dumps for Bitcoin. So that's and I can teach you how too. If you just show up every day, we can get the education going together. But no one can get educated by themselves, right? You need a teacher. I mean, you could be autodidactic. That's not true. You can't educate yourself, but it's good to have a mentor, someone to start it off. I had a mentor, someone that kind of got me on the right foot, taught me what real discipline was. Like I thought I knew what discipline was, but I needed someone to show me real discipline. And being in a trading group and hanging out with the mentor and the leader of the group, really, and I became one of the A traders in the group, started working with the mentor, got very close. My mentor since has passed away, man. These people die. They come in out of your lives. It's unbelievable that they actually, I still can't believe that. Anyway, Bitcoin, bear flag, target, 110.5. Are we going there? Likely to me, unless we get some type of beautiful bullish div, which looks like we may. It's digging in, but it's trying to dig in here. There was a beautiful bullish divvy here, like one of the best I've seen. That was strong bullish divergence. You can see here on the RSI was a nice uptrend with the downtrend. Day nada, nada surf. If you saw that, nada surf, man. 116,500 with the rejection. And then you can see we clearly had the right shoulder there. And we couldn't get above that resistance. And we folded with a beautiful double bottom too. And I saw some people in some big longs calling the bottom here. Remember yesterday, I think they laughed at me and said I was longing the bottom. Remember, wasn't that yesterday? They said I was long in the bottom. I told them there's likely more downside, and we definitely don't. Anyway, so we dumped more, came up, and we're lower than we were yesterday. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Bitcoin attempting to try to put it into divergence here and stick it to them. Let's do our top-down analysis and see what's happening. So, hey, if I was in this, I don't know. Sketchy movement right now for Bitcoin, in my humble opinion. And my system tells me that there's more downside. Like, they got to show me something different. So, let's go to the weekly. Let's back it down. We need the whole chart and nothing but the chart. And let's talk about it. And let's kind of go over all the things that we went over as a team and all the things that I teach in my courses and when I educate you and in my, when I teach this class that I teach here, that you can see. I teach this the last Saturday of every month over there. You can see in the corner, there's a QR code to it. It's coming up soon. And it's a very inexpensive $150 for 3 hours. And I believe you will greatly benefit from it and learn a lot. So here's the deal. Whenever price action on any time frame gets a beautiful pump that feels excessive, gives you a lot of euphoria, you feel like you're on top of the world when it pumps. You're like, yeah. Whenever you see that and you're getting a pretty good distance away from the white line here, the 21-day moving average, you have to always start thinking that there could be, we're either going to rip up with it, like I said, go sideways with it, or dump down to it. Now, again, you just said anything can happen. The thing is, you'll see how far you are. If it starts to this time, there was it had somewhat, but it still was pretty far away. And you have to, the whole point is, the further you get from the 21, the more you have to start thinking. When you're near it, you get into a trade, you're starting to get paid, and everything's going well. Once you distance yourself for the 21, it's almost like every time you sell away for the 21. You're not going to be right every time, but most of the time. Like, you might sell here, but most of the time, and if in a short, you might sell there. And the same thing in a short. If you start dumping and you get away from the white line, like, you're likely coming back to it. So anyway, price likes to be on the white line. So if this was the white line and this was price, it would pump. But it would always like to come back. Then it would dump. But it would like to come back. It would pump, come back. Hang out with it for a while. When it gets real tight, it's going to make a huge move again. And then there's your white line, and then it's going to have to come back down to the white line. And this happens on every single time frame. This is the legend of the 21. That's what I really call it, the legend of the 21. I mean, it is what it is. And it really is the legend of the 21 because it's just what happens. It's once you figure it out, you're set for life. I shouldn't say that because your emotions can still beat you, but the knowledge is there. So anyway, the weekly started gapping away from the 21-day moving average. Either somehow, some way, we're going to luckily save the day and we're going to go sideways here, which could happen. But there's no pump. Like, you're not getting a pump. Like, you're not going to pump. Even if you're bullish, you're going to have to be bullishly coming back to the 21-day moving average. Or in some type of uptrend that pulls the 21 with it. And when you finally touch it, that's when fireworks will happen. But fireworks almost never occur until you're about to touch near. On the bigger time frames, I've learned you don't have to be exactly on it. But the same thing happened here for Bitcoin. And you can learn all this from every asset in the world. We went over this too, right? You can watch the 4-hour on Ford and see this to be true. But so, like, when we pumped here on the weekly and you saw that and I said to everyone said it was up only, remember? ETF, SHMETF, it was 71,000, but Larry Fink's buying. And I said, but man, we're just too far for the 21-day moving average. And I started pulling Fibonacci's. And I started saying I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we wick down to 52,000. I said there's a possibility. I said, heck, we could see 48K. I said, if you're not ready for maybe even a wick down to 45,000, you're not ready for, I probably said all these things. I say them all the time. But this is kind of where we stood for BTC, right? And you'll watch it as it did its thing over time. And you can see away from the 21. We needed to come back to the 21-day moving average. For showsy. And lo and behold, I mean, we would eventually send a dagger wick down through the 618 Fibonacci retracement, which would become a beautiful entry if you sat there. So if you basically trade fibs, set limit orders at fibs and wait patiently, I mean, you could have come back to boatloads of money, right? You see this? This is just trading Fibonacci. Just understanding where to put the in and out, understanding where, how to impulse move works, and then just... So anyway, but it takes patience and days on end. So Bitcoin, major resistance at 71,000, 70,000, and boom, you can see how all that played out over time. And once we got above it, we were Guam, baby. There's also other things that I teach. There was an inverted head and shoulder here on the daily. A shoulder, a head, a right shoulder. Like, we respected so much TA throughout this entire process, One thing I have seen, too, is you got this inverted head and shoulder. You broke out and you kind of have a neckline. Like, could you just retest, You got to bounce from here. Let's take a look if this is respecting a spider line. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty good retest of support. So that's it's kind of a crucial idea here. Because, you lose this line, it's likely you come back down, then you'll get a throw up, but you won't be able to get above it. And then that would be the end of the rally. If you make a lower high up here and then take out this low, and I've said this before, if you take out, everyone thinks it's all right, if you take out 100,800, I mean, that's going to be for me, that's going to be the loss of trend. You're in an uptrend as long as you don't take out that low. A beautiful uptrend. So that's the key to me is sticking to trend. Trend analysis is so important. Every single time I've left trend analysis, and again, and it took me years to really stick to my trend analysis the way I should, the way I've always been locked in. So NASDAQ getting an absolute beating right now, a kick to the, and I'm out of that long that I was in a long time ago. It was a beat down there. So the NASDAQ getting a beat down right now as we speak, 23,137. It did hit an all-time high. We're going to take a look at that. We're going to take a look at the S&P and the NASDAQ too as well. For anyone trading that right now, it seems to be short city. Some simple loss in trend there. So Bitcoin, which has decoupled from the S&P a few times now, but then got back together. Can it decouple a third time and really get out of the zone? And that's what we'd like to see. We'd like to see a show that it's definitely a hedge against inflation. Which, I mean, people say it isn't because because it moves. It's so funny. It's like if this is kind of like the worst analogy, but the best I could come up with at the moment. There's an SUV that travels off-road, and it's got big tires, and it travels off-road, and it does a really good job. But every once in a while, it comes off-road, and it drives with the regular cars. And when you see it driving with regular cars, you say, that's not an off-road vehicle. It's not driving off-road. You see what I'm saying? That's like saying Bitcoin's not an inflation hedge. Because it already shows that it had been. It was less than a dollar, right? And now look where it's $113,000. So it's obviously an inflation hedge. If you held it for the last 10 years, of course it is. What are you talking about? But people, because it trades like the NASDAQ for a couple years, they'll tell you that they said it was an inflation hedge. What happened to Bitcoin? Doesn't seem to be performing that way, does it? So funny. And I hear that a lot on like traditional TradFi news. And I even hear from like people that have like degrees and even know crypto a bit. They fall back on the same dogma they've been fed in their business schools. You see what I'm saying? Remember, The people that change the world, the people that we still learn from today, that we still use their principles, they aren't the people that went to the schools and had the doctorates. Isaac Newton was shunned by the main people, right? By the mathematicians at the time. People that, Nikola Tesla was not, he dropped out of school at one point. You can even read about him having trouble in school, but he was one of the smartest people in the world, learned 6 languages. The guy was making things in his mind. He would wake up in the middle of the night and be able to draw out what he thought, Anyway, so this is a very crucial line for me here for Bitcoin. And it puts a lot of weight here on 113, 112,800 area. A lot of weight. So much weight. Could this be our weekly bottom that gives us a bounce? Could this end up being one of these weird shoulder, I've seen it, head, right shoulders for the weekly? And does Bitcoin just take its time till September 29th? Once the rate cuts really bake in. Because that's what happens. What's going to happen is everyone's going to know if we get the rate cut, the insiders, and they're going to start moving their money. When they move their money, they're going to tip off the banks because they're so greedy. You got to understand, they can't help themselves. So they are always taking advantage before everyone else, the rich. So they're going to do it again because that's their habit. So they're going to front run the rate hike because that's what they're going to do if they have an insight on it. And then we're going to see the money move, and then we're going to front run it because that's what we do. We're retail, but we're inside retail in a way, right? Because this is all we do every day. And so if you can already forecast this for yourself somewhat, and again, maybe I'm wrong, but I speculate on this for a living. And so this is me, and this is what I'm speculating on in my mind. A little funny little cowlick there from the headphones. What are you going to do? Anyway, 84,900, okay? So, not messing with you. 84% is the idea that we could get there and get that rate cut. Now, this has been pretty accurate, so we have that 84% chance. All right, is that, so we sit on that. Once people front run this, September 17th, right? You think it would take about 2 weeks, 12 to 14 days to bake in the reality of that free money pouring into the market, because it's going to come in, and then it's going to actually see. Because what I love about the rate cut is it's not speculation. It's asking for sand to hit the beach, and sand hits the beach. You see what I'm saying? If you're waiting for a dump truck to dump and you're speculating, will it or will it? That's great. But when the sand hits the beach, when the dump truck actually dumps the sand or whatever you want to, I'm just using a quick example, and so bang. The point is, money will flow. And it will go where it goes, which is on, into the markets, into Bitcoin, into places. And to me, I've seen the playbook many times. Looks like it could happen, right? Right now, do we get some cool, bullish news? What happened? You know what I mean? You're always like, well, we got a bullish divergence here for Bitcoin. RSI has a beautiful swing to the upside, while price action has a swing to the downside, and a very strong swing to the upside, might I add, on the 1 hour time frame. So there's a chance we could flip bullish. I'm always looking for the inverted head and shoulder. It can even be super narrow. I've seen it do whatever it wants as long as it does what it's supposed to do at the end of the day. We just make that right shoulder and bounce. Anyway, so where are we standing here? Okay, 1 hour, 4. Let me just get back to the 4. So here we go. So let's go over the bullish and the bearish scenarios here for Bitcoin. Bullish scenario is somehow, some way, we do respect this diagonal trend line that we got cooking on the 3-day chart. And somehow we do bounce, and somehow it turns into some strange inverted head and shoulder chop. And Bitcoin holds this $12,500 area. We closed the 3-day chart in 3 days. We just closed this bearishly last night, which is horrible. We close this 3-day chart and we get a bounce. So far, look, the 3-day candle bouncing. The daily candle looking for a bounce. So, the gutsiest call in the world is to, even hit along here with the stop below that wick. See if we can get the bounce, right? On the daily, though. See if we can get all the way up here to about 117,285, right? That would be kind of, see, that's so, because you would clear the gap back up to the upside. About to say, what happened to my verb? The VRVR. I guess I might have deleted it accidentally. So wow, the 20, and again, remember how flatline the 22 was last night? And even last night I said, this could be a possible bottom. Wow, we're getting a crazy wick on the 10 hour. That's nuts. Look at that. I mean, that would be a bullish pin bar, right? 4 hour, insane how they're just liquidating any longs before they pump the price. And so, look, they did clear some shorts, some longs, but there's still some longs down at 111.5. Wow, we're getting a massive pump of the smaller time frames. I kind of want to dig in here. Thursday volatility. Look at the 1 hour booming. Should have stuck on the 1 minute this whole time. Possible inverted head and shoulder on the 15. Let's take a look at the moving averages. They're so... All right, the 200 isn't too far away now on the 15. 7 minute broke above the 5 minute, back above the 200 moving average. The 1 minute, back above the 200 moving average. So again, there's my signal for a possible long. I'll stick on it as long as I have to. So this is showing signs of a move here. To the upside. Looks like we could get a possible pump further on. Let's see here. So what I was looking for is if we can continue this little beautiful move, which looks pretty sweet right now, massive liquidations on the shorts, right? Watch what I was saying is the second I was up on a short, I'm not keen on shorting Bitcoin still. For me, I wouldn't start shorting Bitcoin until it breaks 100,800. That's to me like, okay, I would lay down and be like, all right, you've broken the trend. I'll start shorting now. But until then, like, I'm still in an uptrend in the bigger picture. So, see, the older I got, the more of the bigger time frames control what I do and obsess my mind. And so now that I've been trading longer, when I see weekly uptrends, it's really hard for me to short. But the old me could have shorted all day long. You see, because my mind's telling me that the overall opportunity is still up. So don't go against the obvious wave. Because then I'll get in the mindset to short too much, and then my habit will be... So I want my habit to be overly bullish still. I still want to be overly biasedly bullish, like trained. I've learned that your mind is trained by the trades you take and what you do. So after years of trading, you'll find out, I was caught in this bullish bias for this long. What happens is you realize no matter what, you'll get into a bias, so then you'll learn to control that bias. Isn't that weird? You'll learn to kind of like, okay, so I'm going to purposely go into like right now, I want to stay in a bullish bias for what, I don't want to play around with a possible idea that we're going to be dumping down to like 59,000. I can see the possibilities of us getting to 109 and then 103, right? And then I'll deal with that. And once we get there, then I have to say, okay, and I know I know my areas, if we lose 100,800, I'm like, dang, that's going to be no good for me personally, right? So I've already kind of decided where I want to sit there. And I go from there, for sure. So let's take a look here and see what's happening on weeks, because we're getting pretty frisky here, and it's making me want to chase a little bit. But I gotta keep it calm. But it does make me want to chase a little bit here. I'm getting that FOMO. I mean, above the 200 moving average with that 21 showing signs of life. And this is Weeks. Weeks has been an awesome trading platform. Great customer service, great team. Really looks out for the trader. Creates opportunities. If you hit my link, you become VIP 3 too. They also have an awesome trading event. If you have very high, if you get your trading volume not too, but at the highest, and you win. There's a contest. You can win a Bentley. They're constantly, throwing money out every single day too as well. So check out Weeks. They give a lot back to their users. They've learned that is the best way to grow. And I find they really, really and they got a team that's enthusiastic and really cares. Like I've seen them work. It's pretty amazing to see a young group of professionals care about what they do, especially in this space, the way I saw the Weeks team in Dubai. So anyway, I know I want to, I like them. That's all I got to say. Good peoples. And shout out to, if you do use my link, I do receive a commission. I greatly appreciate that. Anyone out there, God bless you all. So what we're looking for here is the same thing I'm always looking for. Over and over again. It never ends, right? 115,650 would be my target. It is a Wednesday. We've cleared some of the air, got people back in. Liquidations. It is Bitcoin. There's still big money going on. There's still people, and again, it's just big money moving the market and us little minnows looking to take a piece. That's all that's happening almost on a daily basis, right? So we got to understand where you stand, and that's it. And I'm okay with that. I understand I'm a tiny little minnow looking for my little piece of plankton out here amongst these giant whales, And they're trying to eat me up too. They need to eat as many little minnows as they can, and then the cycle continues. And you just try to find yourself somewhere in that cycle. We could easily lose the 200. This will be a flopper. No go. So possible bottom here for Bitcoin at 112,005. We got a beautiful bounce with a massive liquidation. We finally got above the 200 moving average. A little more precisely, but we've done it. Here we made the flag. Here we slightly flagged out, and we just haven't been able to be sustainable. That's why I've been telling myself no serious longs until we get above the 5-minute 200 moving average. The 1 minute has been fickle, and that will happen. The 1 minute will begin to get fickle because you're not getting the strength of the bulls to progress you, push you up, so you'll play around the 1 minute too much. Whenever the 1 minute gets fickle to me, the 5, even sometimes I like the 7 a lot. The 7 to me is here, make a flag above the 200 moving average. We are above the 200 on multiple time frames. Look at the 10, still getting rejected by it though. Possible inverted head and shoulder. I mean, it looks like a beautiful V shape there. You need the right shoulder now. So again, this is how I do it, and I've done it many times, is I just flag it out here on the 1 minute. Aggressive entry would be right now, but you don't know exactly what's going to happen. I like if we can get this to cross, which it looks like it's about to. We'd like to get the 21 to pull up. Price action to bounce right now, make some type of flag. How do I know it could bounce off this trend line that's not even there yet? I just seen it happen many times. So I'm just pulling a rabbit out the hat here, seeing if it can happen. You never know. It may just continue to dump right now all the way back down through this, and that's why I'm very careful about how I trade this trade. And you look at it very closely too. Trade gets a little better now. It's a 4-1. You can kind of even come up a little bit. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. This is the beginning. Almost want to get in now, but it's a very aggressive entry. I could raise this to 156, you see? Which just shaves off a little risk. Not a lot, but a little. Any type of risk you can shave is important, down to the decimal, down to the tiny percentage. I think it all matters. And if you make every little piece matter, you'll get little pieces that build up to big pieces over time, and you'll be able to actually get a little more of an edge. But it's all about chiseling away at these tiny microscopic little places where you can find vulnerability in the market. Does that make sense? Meaning the second you get further above a key area, you're moving that stop very, very, into the key positional, right where you can. Or once you see that you gain an edge, you do everything you can to lower the risk as soon as you can. And basically, you respect the market. You tell the market that you respect it by doing that. That you know dang well that anything could happen at any moment in time. The trader that does that is just more prepared, right? Mentally, emotionally, all parts. And even though there's no emotions, it's going to affect you. I mean, that's a 6-to-1 risk-reward ratio now. Like you put that to 681, we look like we're getting a little more move. Yeah, I'd be risking 300 for 1900, right? If we could get the bounce right here at this key place. 1 minute. And again, don't do this if you don't know what you're doing, please. Okay? High risk. See if we get the bounce, right? That's what we're looking for here. Right like that on the 1 minute time frame. A key area, I've watched this many, many times. There's also a previous resistances here that you're playing with. So there's a bit of an SR flip at this key level. That would be a very aggressive entry right there. Very aggressive. 260 for 617. I'll take that aggressive entry because the amount of volume there on low stochastics is key. So I made a live trade. We'll see what happens. I'm committed. And it was, I didn't have to risk, it was a pretty good risk-reward ratio, so we'll see. It's also high risk with the amount of liquidations. It is summer, but it's Wednesday. My favorite day where we have good volume, good follow through. We got the cross of the 21 and the 200. So let's see. See if they come and get me with the nasty manipulation wick and pump it again, which they very well may. Seems like that's been the case all week long. With Friday looming, there's been nasty manipulation. It's just been, What is Friday? It's going to be, I believe, Jackson Hole, Jerome Powell. So he's going to speak, and everyone thinks, we're looking for some hawkishness. No rate cut, blah, 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 whatever he has to say. So we'll see. Now it's testing the 200 moving average. Looked like it was going to make a nice little flag for me. I need basically a bounce here, a graceful bounce here off the 200 moving average to save me, to keep me in the game. Real-time live trading here with Sammy P, the Crypto Lifer. Can we get an epic legendary bounce off the 200 moving average to save my butt here on public live trading so I don't look like a clown? I'd love to win the trade in front of everyone like I did on Monday. Monday, I looked amazing, right? I couldn't lose. I was Mr. Footloose, man. It was like, woo! Blue suede shoes. Everyone,
I'll take you anywhere. Just tell me I'll be there. We don't need
it's been tough. And trading should be tough. It's not easy. It whittles out the people that can't hang, that don't have a system, that eventually don't use enough risk management. So they just lose so much they can't be in the game anymore. Just simply put, it's impossible, right? I'm lucky I'm less risky. Like, of my entire holdings, I only use maybe 10% to leverage trade. I'm not a fool. I'm not using a lot of maybe even less than that, I believe, if I did the exact math, right? So, touch of the 21 in the bull flag. Can we get the pump? Low stochastics. We're up 3% to, it was moving fast. That trade is all over the place. It's a pretty big trade, huh? $85,000 position, 1,300 in at 62x levy. Liquidation 11.9. So most I could lose is 11.9, and I got to stop at 200, 260. Back up almost 3%. I'm the king of 3%, baby. Let's go. Can he kick it? Can he hold 3.333? Look at that 333. Hey. He did it over here, folks. He did 3-3. Triple threes on the guy. Over here. Look at this guy. I mean, does he? Hey, let's see what happens. Is price action going to bend my way today? Let's hope it does. Looking extra crispy for a possible move here on the reversal. Could be just like Monday. We'll see. I took it a very aggressive entry here on the 1 minute time frame. Very aggressive. One of my more aggressive entries in a long time. Let's see if it can pan out. 250 for 1900. I mean, it would be unreal, right? It's a dream, but again, we'll see what happens. Dreams almost never come true out here in this nasty leverage game. We'll see. I'll take whatever I get. I'm grateful for anything that can happen here. See, once we can get this 200 to continue to push up past my entry. I'd love it when the 200 crosses my entry on the 1 minute. In an hour, if we're still in the game, that would be unbelievable. A beautiful short squeeze would be lovely right now, please. Like we always get on the show, would be nice. I'd take one right now. Just send it up to like 114.5 out of nowhere, just on an absolute cannon. Let's go. Just brah. And it seems like something's brewing a little bit here. We're getting a little bit of love. Upper quick $130. It's a little too fast for me. My heart's racing. Oh my gosh. It used to get me going. I know exactly what I'm risking and why and where I'm at. So I've removed emotions from the game, right? I'm either going to win or lose, and I get it. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Spread your love, man. You got to, I mean, as corny as it sounds, I sometimes never want to play the song, but then when it comes on, I'm like, well, it's, he is saying something good. So let it rock. It's high frequency. You know what I mean? Spreading love. Ain't nothing wrong with spreading that love. I would love a beautiful short squeeze right now. This is BOOKMAP on the right side here, showing us where the liquidity lies. It's saying there's a lot of liquidity below us still. So we do get a pump up. We got to be careful. It could be one of those surges up that creates a nasty move down. Every time, it's been like a false move Monday here. So we'll see as I speak it. Again, send us on a mission. It would be great. Look, a bit of a double top right there. So resistance clearly shown at 113.8. And if that could be a double top right there. And send me home packing after a little bit of gainer. Now we got to make this a higher low. Show us that we're making some type of pattern. Otherwise, it is a double top. It'll rip right through the W and we're done. We're cooked. If the 1 minute, and what I like about it is, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 20 minutes. Another 10 or 12, and you'll 20 minutes from now, you're going to either have a breakout of this candle or a dump below the 200 moving average. You're not going to have to wait too long to see how this plays out. So you're going to get your information, right? So I love the small time frames because I'm an impatient guy sometimes. I want to know, tell me what's happening right now, right away, I say, right? You know what I mean? Give it to me right now. I don't want to wait. So the 1 minute's going to start kind of telling me if this is going to be cat ears M's and we're going to dump here, or we're going to kind of save the day with a bounce on the ascending triangle above the 200 moving average. Lately, this has not been occurring. This has been rolling over and over again. My golden signal, and if it rolls over more than it doesn't, then I know that they're crushing us lower. Like we're not in an uptrend anymore, This signal works beautifully when we're in the uptrend. When we're fighting the markets and you have a lot of ups and downs and a lot of, lack of momentum, you got to be very, very, very careful. So that's why I'm not risking like 1,000 for 3, 4, 5,000 or, 3,000 for 10,000. It's a smaller trade, right? Because I understand the risk that's involved right now. But I still want to throw in the dice because there could be a beautiful reversal today and they squeeze them shorts. Right now, BOOKMAP says no. BOOKMAP is not in my favor. BOOKMAP says I am going to get liquidated or get taken out. At least my short's going to take taken out. So you go by BOOKMAP, which has been accurate, 90%. It's telling me that I'm trading against it. Telling me I should not be shorting long in this. I should be shorting the double top that just happened at 113.8. I'm stubborn because the signal works more than it doesn't. But here we go now. Looking more like an M pattern. I mean, look, that's a beautiful M. Almost looks like they've spoken now and they're going to come get me. At this point, I'd be surprised if I stay in the trade. Very surprised. What do you think? Do I win this one? Or do I get taken out of here? This one's tight. Very tight. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Am I even live? I didn't even know if I was live for a second. I realized I had no one confirm if I ever went live from my team. I could have been talking to myself this entire time, which is absolutely insane, right? It's happened a few times, so you never know. I guess if I wasn't live, I think someone would have contacted my wife. I believe so. But you never know in this land, man. Stop loss at break even. Someone says it doesn't look good. It's looking pretty weird, right? Some hope right there with that little greenage, but then it got noped. It got noped out. Not today, it said. I mean, nicely back above, but look, now it just might right shoulder itself down again, just like last night. It made the flag, it went sideways, but it was unable to stay sustainably above. See, I've watched this play out so many times in my life on so many assets. Like, we got to stay above the 200 moving average. We're entertaining each other in the chat. Yeah. I think we're going up. Show him how to find the chat so we know he's live. I'm live, right? You're live, buddy. You're here with us, man. God bless you. Thank you. You never know. How's my little sweetie pie? All right, I have to figure it out later. That one's tough. Figure I could get it for you right now, but that one's tough, honey. Can Daddy open the pocketbook? It looks impossible to open for the daughter. She brought it to me. Can't open it, Daddy. How could I tell her no, though? Like, how could I tell my daughter that I can't get it open? I need a pair of pliers, baby. Yeah. I'll rip this thing to shreds if I have to. I don't know, honey. That one's tight. It's the way it's angled, I believe, and then we got to get it like off angle. Almost takes finessing. Is there glue in there? You backtrack it and then I did it. I did it for my daughter. I did it. I did it. Nice. I almost said no, man, but you can never say no to your kids, man. Dang, man. I don't know, man. That felt like the biggest win of my life. I don't know why. I just always want to come through for my kids, man. For a second, it felt like I wasn't going to be able to get it. Daddy's always got to have the answer, man. Now that's cold storage. You guys are funny, man. So Bitcoin not looking great, looking more like a double top. That's a beautiful M. I mean, that's an M pattern. And that's a dump. And it looks like I'm cooked. Yet again, hookage. And it's just a tough week to be trading, to be honest, at all. I have to be honest with everybody. It's just a tough week to be trading. You know, can we double bottom? Can we save the day here? I mean, you never know. This is why you trade, because you just never know. Show me that W for the win, baby. So this would be a legendary long right here now. If this would be a legendary long. And you get somewhere up to about $114,268, right? This would just be absolutely unbelievably, right? You can't let your kids see you be defeated. And never, right? You're funny, right? So, wow, we're still in the trade, right? We're still rocking. No reason to panic. Never panic. Never panic. Just let it play out. Set your parameters. Deal with exactly what you're doing and let it go. You may just absolutely win doing what you got to do. Just don't let your emotions in there ruining it, because they'll just take everything from you. They won't allow you to let you see it through. The data won't prevail because your emotions will cut it short. You'll never be able to learn anything. So you got to be able to learn through the data. It's getting tight here. It's getting very tight. And here we are again with this 1 minute chop and slop. And is this all we're going to go through? You know? And that could be just all they wrote. A little bit of a pump as they go and clean it up down there. Look at all that lovely liquidity they can just eat up, and it's right there. It's the closest. So again, BOOKMAP, which has basically been coming through for us, is telling us the dump is coming. We're headed right back down to this big glob of liquidity here at 112.7, and then definitely lower. So let's take a look at what that looks like if we do start going lower today for Bitcoin. Look at the Bybit spot chart. Make it simple. Wow, what a dump, right? Out of nowhere. I mean, not out of nowhere, but what a dump. Like, just immediate, just dump. Right back down to the 200 there. With the bounce, though, unreal bounce. Really strange price action. Volatile. Look at this. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Liquidate. Like anyone who's on 100X. Trading a little too heavy, near the bone. I mean, they're going to get you. They went and grabbed boom, boom, boom. Then they went boom. I guess they're going to come scoop the lows here. Is there enough? I don't know. The 1 minute, huh? And again, don't trade the 1 minute if you don't know what you're doing. If you haven't, I've traded it thousands of times in my life. It's kind of just routine for me. Start seeing things. There's a possible Adam and Eve double bottom. Could you do it? To me, it just looks like you're going to cat ears down now. That's cat ears to the T. Like, boom. I say there's like more of a chance I get hit off than I don't. Come on. Man, what a crazy battle here at the 200 moving average. You can see it always seems to be at the yellow 200. I can't believe how many bounces I've seen there in my lifetime. It's been insanity. And you're watching this live trading action here on Weeks. Link to Weeks here up in the pinned comment. If you want to jump on in underneath the fold of the lifers. That means if anything ever happens, you can hit me up and say, hey, this is my user ID. You know, I feel like this was this or that was that. And I can say, hey, this is the user ID of so-and-so. Can you check it out? And someone really will, because our community is put first, man. They love us. So use the link. Become part of something bigger than yourself. If you're going to trade, might as well trade with us, right? God bless you for being here. Thank you for jumping on in. I do receive a commission from that link. I appreciate it. So could we get the bounce off the 200 moving average on the 1 minute time frame? A battle ensues here. And there's just you never know. So I'm hanging on by a thread here on this live trade. Live trading BTC here on the day, looking for a day's pay. Just day trading Lev, just going for a couple hundred to 500 to $1,000. Like, can a man make $1,000? This is how hard I got to work to try to pull it off. If we can pull this off, which you never know, we just might. There's always a chance that you win. There's always a chance that you lose every time you open a trade. But there's definitely a chance nothing happens if you don't do anything. I'll tell you that. I will learn from this trade no matter what happens. If I lose, I'll learn from it. If I win, I'll learn from it. You see what I'm saying? So whatever happens, I will learn from this trade. And we'll see what happens. Let's take a look at it around the world. What's going on around the horn here for Bitcoin at about 11 o'clock. And we'll take a look at your super chats too. jump on in and see what's happening with the lifers. God bless all the lifers. Let's take a look at this beautiful chat. A lot of people hide the chat, but I know there's always some just loveliness in the chat. So even though I'm told to hide it sometimes because you never know. But breaking up. Let's go, Biddy. Somebody says, hold the trade open for 6 hours and you'll make it. Don't open it for 10 minutes and panic sell, bro. God bless you, man. Let's go for 6 hours, man. All my MAs are pointing up. Every loss is a lesson. Every win is a blessing. I love you. Super chat, PLTR. I'm here, brother. Love the lessons. Best chat of the game. God bless everybody here. Shout out to Lakochi. Shout out to Von Brewer. Shout out to Reliable J. Ray Gutowski. Ray, I love you, man. Think about you all the time. Thank you for everything, man, and helping me move. I'll never forget you, brother. I don't know how I got in a sticky situation there, and you really helped me out. All the way, I can't believe it, what you did for me. I hope everything's going well for you, man. God should have blessed you so much for what you did for me. That was one of the classiest moves anyone's ever pulled off in life, man. God bless you, Ray. Shout out to your wife. Shout out to your whole family. Thank you so much from my family to yours, man. God bless you, brother. Just back from the dentist. No cavities, Mom. Shout out to Rafe Song Records. Doing it again. I love you. I'm the only trader that talks about Jesus. No, there's other people that talk about Jesus and God and, just living life the best you can. That's all. Just living life the best you can. Bit of an Adam and Eve there. It's a bit of a double bottom off the 200 moving average. Holding some grace now, but now we're up 115. You never know what can happen on these trades, right? You never know. Yep. Shout out to Crypto Billy, Mr. Flawless, Biscuits, Randy Alwas, Dwayne, Claudio Fernando, Milligan's Travels, and all the beautiful souls here on the live. Shout out to Teddy Bear. Very bullish. Teddy Bear likes it. Bishara, Reliable J in the house yet again. Shamzu, Pata, Amon. DK, make a W on the 1 minute. I know, it's a beautiful one too, right? Universe providing. Let's see if we can get this move to the oops side he. Nice pumpage. And we're trading live on weeks with this action. This is great price action here, live on weeks. See the fast movement, see the liquidity, see the way this is, you're seeing everything in real time. Very nice, moving at the speed of light. Internet is awesome. You just got a great experience here on the weeks platform. Absolutely lovely. Love you, Sam. Thanks for the shout out. Shout out to Randy. God bless you, man. You're always holding me down, Randy. Thank you. Shout out to Biscuits, Milligan's Travels, to Armenian Friend, Mr. Flawless, all the awesome people that show up on the stream every single day. God bless you all. Hey, we're up 234. You never know. This could end up being a monster trade. 18%, 19. Ever thought I'd be up 20% after what we saw earlier? You never know, right? That's why you got to put your best foot forward every single time and just go at a system time and time again. Let's take a look at what's happening here for Ethereum. A lot of people are saying ETH is getting a bit of a move here. Let's take a look at Ethereum. So remember, we gave you your top-down analysis from the weekly all the way to the 1 minute. Showed you a lot of different things. Bitcoin pumped from 113 to 114 too, since we've been here together. Interesting times to be alive, right? So let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum makes this beautiful, beautiful move here. Resistance becomes support at about $4,000. So it's saying, hey, we may never go lower than 4,000 again. This could end up being the move. Weekly is away from the 21, though. It's just, to me, I don't know, like we talked about before, very far away from the 21. Tells me I got to be careful. Tells me either we're going to go on some parabolic run and pull it with us, which is just, it can happen, like anything can happen, but it's unlikely, right? What I will say is the daily is looking for a reversal. The stochastics are very oversold. You're previously at a resistance and you're bouncing. So the daily is finding support at $4,000. Whether we are sustainably going to stay there or not is the question. Looks like we could get another leg to the upside, though, as it becomes the poster child for institutional buying Ethereum. And you're seeing a lot of money flow into ETH, more than almost ever now. And we're going to take a look at Bitcoin dominance And you could say, okay, we had bearish div, but that was just only got us to support. Now a nice bounce for Ethereum back to the upside in Ethereum. It closes the daily candle here, then there could be a daily, a tweezer bottom buy, just like that one was right there. That one, and you're on the 21 with low stochastics. And again, look, hidden bullish divergence. Price action swinging up while the RSI swings down. That usually is accompanied with a 618 golden pocket fib. Yeah, we came to the 0.5. If you came from that wick, though, you can see we hit the 618 too from that secondary impulse. I like it. I like what I'm seeing. If the daily candle closes as such, this is a bullish sign. So little trouble in paradise, but we did get a bump up to what, 100? So entry at 113.478 or 113.6, and we pumped up to about 114. Still playing it pretty close to the bone here. Again, the bigger the move, the more the crash. We like this kind of more consolidative plan, but again, not perfect. And I'm just going to stick to my plan. Move the stop loss a little bit as the 200 goes up, but not too much. And again, this is high risk. It's a very high likely I could lose the trade too. And don't listen to people like someone that take your, sit until tomorrow. You never know. You never know what could happen. So far there's a possibility here of a reversal. But nothing nothing amazing. I'm going to look at the daily again for Bitcoin. I mean, you're getting some of that hidden bullish divergence. It's not perfect. It's like it's not perfect there, but it's slight. You're getting this, possible double bottom. I mean, that's a double bottom on the daily time frame. Hey, I'll take it. Wouldn't be the first time it did something this, just like that. It did that, I'll show you when. Way back here, right? Remember this one? And that one was, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it was a double bottom nonetheless. Ended up holding positional strength there, as bearish as it looked, and ended up absolutely tearing the face off the world there. Bitcoin. So it can happen. We got to be open-minded. That's your hopium copium right there. For anyone trying to sniff that hopium. There it is for you. That's the stuff. That's the hard stuff for you right there. So bang. Take it in. But seriously. Everyone needs a little bit of hopium copium in the morning. So Bitcoin future perps are above their moving averages. ETH, IBIT, not yet. Bears are just tired. They may come back. SEI, baby, hit my 618 in my sleep. Booming. I love SEI. God bless you, bro. Shout out to my Sayans, my SEIans, my Sayans. Michael Sealors, my Sealors. Crazy. Shout out to the 1,700 beautiful souls here on the live. 43, man. We almost have 2,000 people here. This is a huge stream. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. This is one of the biggest streams in trading, one of the biggest streams in crypto. Let's get the likes up to the watchers, everybody. Come on, let's get it going. Let's get it going. Get the likes up for yourselves. Like, you come here every day, hit the like button. You know what I mean? Respect where you're at. Put that frequency up. Remember, when you hit that like button, you're telling everybody around the world that you care about education, and you're making it happen. So thank you. Can we get up to $135,000 Bitcoin would be the target if this does turn into a bit of a W. All right. Someone says, look like the buy volume is spent. Yeah, it does look like that was all she wrote there. Now they're going to come down for those longs. Take them longs out. All the way down. I mean, we got a nice pump. Can we get can we get like a bull flag follow through? A shoulder ahead, a bit of a right shoulder. It does look possible. Anything is possible. You know what I'm saying? That's just herbal sense. Nice, good herbal. Clears out the nasal. Thailand herbs. On a cruise ship trading while the lifer. Life is good. God bless you, man. Be careful out there on the open sea. You never know what could happen. No, but seriously, I respect that ocean as a sailor, and I've been out there. I've been pulled in by the Coast Guard, so you never know. And I'm sure you're fine. I'm just, So can the daily pull off a bit of a double bottom here? That's our kind of saving grace here for the bulls. This is the one chance, and, this is it. This is happening in real time. I'm be the first person to talk about it because it's happening right now. Like, it just happened. Had there been no green candle here, there's no double bottom yet. So right now, this is a possible daily double bottom. Support around 12,005, 12,008 area. All right. Let's see. We get this hold off, and we could get a bit of a bounce. It's the 8-hour 200 moving average as well, which could be a beautiful catalyst. Entry here with a stop below this wick. So you are buying the green candle, I get it, but it's on a bigger time frame. See? Again, you do whatever makes you happy, but this is something I would, I'm already in a trade, but this is something I would entertain. Even on the bigger time frame, because boom. Well, it goes down, eventually comes up, and vice versa, and it is always in a heavy fear. So does that mean we're definitely going to pump? You never know. You never know what could happen. So I never want people to think, oh, that's what, But hey, there's a 68% chance that a falling wedge breaks back up the length. Or somewhere back into this zone. You'll have some resistance at the POC there, 118.2. And there's a lot of chop right here, see? So I don't see how you wouldn't possibly come down, maybe come back to retest 116 before the rippage, but so wow, it's looking interesting, right? And we may really get this look. It's a shoulder, it's an inverted head and shoulder now. That is a 68% chance of a break to the upside. You see it? Shoulder, head, right shoulder. You may not see it. I see it pretty clearly. And again, we'll see. The more we keep getting this move, the better. Let's take a look at the 5-minute now. The 5-minute now is above the 200 moving average. We now need to see this flag out and have the 21 cross. We get that, then we, and I see kind of an inverted head and shoulder here too that's playing out. So I like what I'm seeing. Looks like we're headed back to 114. We're up $300 on the trade, 21%. We've been in the trade, I don't know, 30 minutes now, 40 minutes. We're about the highest we've been since the initial pump. We're kind of back where we started. And there seems to be a bit of a short squeeze coming on in here for Bitcoin. Right there's some liquidations coming in as we speak. Liquidations coming in. I mean, that's crazy, right? Wow, massive move up. We just pumped up pretty big here. We wicked up to 114,260. $400 on the trade. The lifer pulling off insanity here. And a lot of people doubted me. A lot of people thought this trade wasn't going to play out. A lot of people said it ain't going to happen. But so far, so good. We're getting a bit of a move here to the upside for Bitcoin. I mean, $400 is great. Is it sustainable throughout the day? It's possible. We're getting a bigger reversal here on the bigger time frame. I mean, look, so far, so good. And I'm using technical analysis. 200 moving average, 21. Inverted head and shoulder. Where we're moving, how the 21's moving. Stochastics RSI. It all said the signal. All right. We're above that resistance. 1 hour, so nice. Let's go. It's possible. Things are going in our favor here. To the upside, up 30%. Imagine making 30% today on a trade. And learning the lifer system in the lifer way. Sign up to my trading course if you want to learn more, which is the last Saturday of every month. I give you a PowerPoint. I hook you up. You're going to know so much more than you knew when you're done with that, it's amazing what the testimonials I get after that. People love and you can join my trading group at cryptolifer.com. We make it very, very simple. Go to cryptolifer.com. In the upper right-hand corner, hit subscribe. It'll take you to the monthly, the quarterly, or the annual subscription service. I'm here daily, every single day, 7 days a week, giving you my top insight. I was up till 2 in the morning last night, going over the ups, basically an update and showing you what's happening to Bitcoin. Yes, my charting strategy is money. Just made 1,000 on link in 10 minutes. Shout out to Dizzy Gang. Who are the clowns saying you sold the bottom yesterday? Hope you learned to keep your mouth. God bless you, man. I love you, man. God bless them. They're the people that need the most love, right? The people that don't understand, right? It's okay. They'll figure it out over time. We're here for them. So another live trade here on the channel. We're using Weeks. Sign up to Weeks today to see how it's done. But please demo trade. They have a beautiful demo trade. You should be demo trading for 4 to 5 months, in my humble opinion, maybe even a year. And I know that's sad because people want action, but you got to understand who you are, yourself, your emotions, and really get inside of your own mind for a while. And that takes a long time. For me, it did. We'll guide you in the trading group, and we will help you in ways to accelerate you for sure, way faster than you would if you were on your own. But I definitely caution any type of leverage trading without at least some type of demo behind you. So you can understand the buttons. You can understand the movement. You won't get too emotional. A lot of people get really freaked out at the time. And I'm at 62x. Like, they just can't handle this type of lev. And I get it. There was a time right now, but I would just be bugging out. But it's more, like how using the 1 minute at 65, like that's nuts, right? And it's all clean and concise and just, we got our stop loss. We know what we're doing. We're finding our risk. And again, this could dump in my face in 2 seconds. I'm very skeptical of the trading day today. Very skeptical. I took mine in 2023 and still watch it a few times a year just for a refresher. Thank you for saying that. It's a year and just a year into my trading career, and I can tell you I'd be much better off had I never traded live funds till about 3 or 4 months ago. God bless you, man. Yeah. Sam Swift the Hopium and the price started pumping. You're so funny, man. I learned that my emotions are a roller coaster when I start. That's just what happens. And it's because it's a human emotion, man. It's you're not used to doing this all the time. You got to get used to being in risk more, and it's not easy. Especially when your whole life is attached to it and you're. So can we double bottom here? Have we found the 112? Last time it was the liquidity zone. Could it be the secondary time again to save us? And do we rip right back to the upside here? Does that end up being one of, Bitcoin? And again, we showed you that giant support and resistance too. That diagonal trend line on the bigger time frames. I'm at the hospital watching you, Sam. My mother's having surgery today. God bless you. Shout out to Rick Ritchie. And a moment of silence for his mom. Dear Lord, please help his mom in that surgery and help everything go well. Just a moment of silence for her. And everybody just, it's a little prayer for his mom. Hope she comes out for whatever's happening. Hope it's, more routine and she's fine. I personally think that using real funds is the way to go, but only using $5 to $10 per trade to give yourself it is instead of the school. Yeah. I just say, demo trading just to touch the buttons at least for a little while. I would sometimes forget and open up a short when I should be long. I did it a few times at the beginning. I really did. And I'd been trading for years, but I just, that feeling to have to be, oh my gosh, it's quick. The 1 minute and the speed. And so I just, and trading the 1 minute isn't easy too for most people. It takes some time. So the demo trading just helps your nerves. God bless your mom. Blessing to his mom. Thank you. If we close the daily without a engulfing candle, looks like we have a chance. Hey, anything is possible, right? Anything is possible. So let's take a look here at CoinMarketCap and see what's happening. Google becomes the top TerraWolf shareholder, the largest shareholder of a Bitcoin miner, holding 14% shares after increasing its backstop, and a lease deal, the miner and the AI infrastructure provider FluidStack. Isn't that interesting? So they back FluidStack, which owns, and they become, so they own, Google's into Bitcoin mining now. Everybody has a piece of the pie at this point. Pretty interesting, right? So M up 19%, and take a look at what's up in the last hour. OKB strong, Pudgy Penguins 5%, Pump Fund, Chainlink really like holding it down. I talked about Chainlink last night in my group. I said strongest coin in the game right now. And at 26, Chainlink is on a tear and does not care. SEI at 30, Conflux, Injective. Let's take a look at, if you have a super chat, let's take a look at it. I got things I want to go over. It's 11:23. The show moves fast. 37 minutes to spit through a lot of data here and get it done. So let's have some fun. Let's mix and match. Little Pepe on 400%, right? I lost $400 at an exit for a month, and now I start again from 10. $50 from time to time. I go back out and take a long time, guys. There is no easy money. It's a hard work, 100%. Yep. I'm out, livers. Thank you. Have a good one. God bless you, man. Be safe. I don't know why Google to own Bitcoin miners. Bitcoin must remain totally independent of control. I agree. Let's take a look at the nasty NAS here and see what's happening to the NQ on the E-mini futures. So can the NQ bounce? Right? It fell out of the rising wedge to the downside in a nasty, nasty dump in the last basically 24 hours, right? The NASDAQ collapsing pretty nastily to the downside. Let's take a look. They're printing so much money. But again, look, it didn't even make it. It must be on the 6 hour. Yeah, it's near the 6 hour 200 moving average, right? That's where the bounce occurred right there. I feel like they're just printing so much money that you'll get a bounce somehow, some way, and this will turn into a bit of a flag. And people are going to be like, but how? But why? Yes, of course, it's bearish diverted. It should be dumping to the downside. But what's going to happen when they print more money? Because they have to. Trump's printing the money. And again, I like, listening to what people say is printing money is not partisan. It's on both sides of the aisle. They both print money, Republicans, Democrats. It doesn't seem to matter. We will raise that deficit no matter who's in office because it's too high anyway. It's unfair for whoever just got it. Like it's, I shouldn't say unfair, but and everyone else is going to be gone. So they just say, hey, you know what? So we know that governments are going to continue to print. And we know the dollar is going to continue to get devalued. It's pretty low now. It's pretty sad. We're going to see a massive devaluation in the next 30 years. If it even is that sustainable to hang out that long, right? Anyway, so what that means is I really still, as crazy as I am, take a fib. That's a bounce off the 786 fib right there. And I could see this thing getting a bounce right now. Could be one of the most epic buys anyone ever makes here for the NASDAQ. It's very oversold. It took a lot of money to oversell it. But see, when you overinflate prices, then when they get a massive sell-off, they can't go as low as they used to because you've put the prices of that thing too high compared to the dollar. So you can sell it all you want and it will still make a higher high. You get it? So of course these are nasty dumps, but they barely register weeks later because if you continue to print, so it's in our favor. It's still in our favor for these risk-on assets. Again, you lose this fund, then you're going to start, and again, I don't know what's going to happen for sure. Maybe it's a shoulder ahead and we make a nasty right shoulder. Either way, I still see some type of movement back up at one point here for the NASDAQ. God bless y'all. You guys, hope you're doing okay. Thank you. Still in the Bitcoin trade. Yeah, we're still in it, and now it's flagging out and looking like we could get a bigger pump here. And yeah, we're going to keep this trade open hopefully all day till tonight at 6 p.m. Just not going to look at it again and come back at 6 p.m. All right, so we're going to end the show, and then we're just going to come back to the trade at 6 p.m. But so far, so good. We're winning and grinning here on BTC. Shout out to anyone. Put a 333 if you're up in a Bitcoin long with the lifer. It was looking nasty. It was looking down, but we somehow, some way may have found the daily bottom. Put a 333 in the comments if you are up with the lifer on your own strategy, learned with me, education, whatever it is. Thoughts on Fed minutes at 2 p.m. from the last meeting being interpreted by the markets. Impact on the rate cut expectations. People say it's a big deal. To me, the Fed cut can be, the Fed minutes is really just a regurgitation of what you've already seen. Like Jerome Powell said his piece. He talks, this Friday. That to me is going to do something to the market. Other than that, I'm not too keen on the Fed minutes. But again, anything is possible. but they don't really reveal anything too heavy that we don't already know. And we're waiting on Friday, but with Friday and Fed minutes, who knows? Maybe they're bullish. I don't know. So for me, I understand. You think, everything's going to go well, and at 2 p.m., we're just going to crash again. And to be careful. Hey, I would at least at 2 p.m. have a bit of an alert and watch price action and see what happens. There could be some volatility. In my mind, Fed minutes have been a nothing burger. So, but who knows? Right? There's no guarantees there. But they have been a nothing burger in the past. So, beautiful flag here above the 200 moving average, touch of the 21. That does suggest we could go to the measured move, 115,200. And now, look, we got a big red bar of liquidity above us at 115.5. And they've been doing this. They've been hiding the liquidity, and then we're starting to see people jump, because what happens is they got their liquidations are far away, but then they get scared and they put sell orders and they start to sell. And so we do see a little bit of liquidity up to 115K right there. And even beyond, it goes beyond, but the deepest, darkest red on the board, as you can clearly see, is 112, 113.5. So far, we're defying the order of the BOOKMAP, and you're like, Sammy, how did you know to defy BOOKMAP? It's 90%. I just go by the 200 moving average, and I could be wrong. Maybe up $500 of the trade for a split second there. That was our high point. And I can't wait to get that stop loss to break even. Continue to shave a little bit of risk there. Let's go. Bitcoin booming out the flag to the upside. Can we get the pump? And trading live here on Weeks. Shout out to the Weeks peoples. God bless everybody and my Weeks team. Use my link to get hooked up to VIP 3 and I believe get 50% discount on fees on Weeks. Okay, so Bitcoin. Struggling a bit here. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Everyone is, remember that Goo for Cocoa Pulse? I'm just like, they're Goo for Ethereum. So to me, it's the smaller time frames. It's just what we're seeing here on Bitcoin. We got to get a sustainable pump on the 1 minute. Got to get this nice flag pumping back to the upside. Let these alts breathe, baby. Bitcoin get the reversal. And we get out of the doldrums. It's been nasty. It's been days of dumping, right? And it's kind of like, it starts to get to you. Ethereum holding up really well, though, on $4,000 support. 100%. And we even have Ethereum here on BOOKMAP. I bet you didn't know you can do the Ethereum, Link, XRP, a lot of the big boys. That still has all the liquidity below us, too, for ETH. It's saying no, no, no. Wow. So all the liquidations is below ETH, too, at 3,900. So everyone thinks they're going to be safe here, below 4,000. Just may not be the case. You'd look for this to make some type of shoulder and then start some type of mass liquidation here. So be careful. BOOKMAP tells us to be cautious, even though it's looking pretty nice at about almost 4,300. It's looking beautiful. Okay, popular search coins here. We got Ethereum, ENA, Succinct, Proof keeps coming up there. Towns keeps coming up too. Starknet, Arbitrum, Plume Network, Public AI, Cyber, Egan Cloud, which is Egan Layer. Isn't that like the same thing? Zora is back to 9 cents. So, a little frenzy there, and if you chase stuff like that. AERO at 134 is very strong. It don't care. Solana 180, very strong. Public AI looking nice. It's a smaller coin, just to Google. Somia Network, I learned about it back in the day. Looked pretty good. Almanac, I like the Almanac. I like the name. That's cool. Unique is interesting. Hyperbeat, that's a new one for me. And these are the most visited coins. People are liking Almanac, Aptos, Arbitrum. All right, they're going to Aerodrome, baby. Aerodrome's getting that movement. People are using it. It's an automated market maker. Don't you understand? Coinbase is hot. I explained all this to my trading group years ago. So the reason why we were heavy on AERO. Let's take a look at AERO and see where we can go for Aerodrome. Then we're going to jump on into your super chats and continue the show on with that movement. Aerodrome. And I like to look at AERO USD on Coinbase just because it's their baby. And so I like to look at that liquidity on Coinbase, right? All right, so the last time we looked at it, we saw this flag pump. Then we saw this flag, and we wanted it to get a bump, and it did. It went to the first resistance at 146. We'd like 181 if we could get there, right? So let's break it down. It's in a giant double bottom on the weekly. We're going to show you, a coin that recently did pretty good on one of these. So to me, that would be kind of, you come back up, you're going to make the W, and then the W has a measured move. It tells me we can get to about a $4 Aerodrome by February of 2026. You hear these people telling you that there's talks of this hypercycle going to 2027. I don't know, maybe. I mean, the way Bitcoin's moving, it could go through tiny little cycles in the weekly and not be. But I mean, I stick the one indicator I'm going to use for the end of the rally. I'm going to show you towards the end of the show. But there's one indicator I'm going to use that's going to tell me when Bitcoin's topped out, and I've been sticking to it for years, and I'm not going to change. So, but this tells me we can get to $4 Aerodrome just based on the charts alone on the weekly, right? A little far away for the 21 does show some consolidation could be coming. 5-day chart, 3-day chart, the daily. Then I start seeing we're in a beautiful uptrend. You can see the uptrend, right? Higher highs, higher lows, and then a booming higher high. You'd have to now take out the low at 72 cents to be bearish. That looks unlikely, doesn't it? We've made a pretty big claim to an uptrend here on Aerodrome. See how this works? Now we're going to look back and we're going to look for that previous support and resistance area that really matters, that has that source. I mean, resistance right here. We bounced. We have some bouncing right here. And we went up and down right there. You can see there's definitely been some chop in this area. This has an even lower area right there where we've, so you could say it's kind of in a zone, but fine. We'll take a $1.09. And there is a little bit of support right there at 120. The daily has bounced off 120 actually right now. So the daily stochastics are going to reset. Likely. Maybe we get a bigger push up and consolidate. We did roll over. One hour looks like it's in an inverted about to pump. So it looks like the altcoins are about to just get this little bump up with Bitcoin. And then, I'd like this to consolidate. This would be the safer bet and a nicer move, right? You never want just straight up. That'd be a $2 Aerodrome really getting back into where we're at. There's going to be a resistance at 147. 150 will be hot for AERO. Thank you so much for that super chat. Matt donated $2. And look at the cups in the jar. Oh, just a little bit of movement there. Nothing too crazy with those cups, with those little balls. Thank you for moving the balls around. Thank you. Let's look at PLTR, SHX, and Epic. Shout out to Lakochi. Thank you. And I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say should be taken as financial advice. So Palantir was in a rising wedge. Looked like it could break out. It got to the high of 188. So we looked at that, right? Nasty rejection when the whole NASDAQ and the whole market took a beat down, right? Everything got the liquidity kicked out of it, so to speak. Still has the bigger target if it can stay above some of this resistance. Well, it all depends on the bigger picture. The NASDAQ could get a bounce. So let's take a look. Think about Palantir, it's been just on an absolute tear on the weekly. And it is away for the 21-day moving average, coming back down to weekly support. It's got two places of weekly support here. One is 138. The next is about 119. It's got a bearish divergence on the weekly. Again, tells me that there's got to be a little more downside, but you could say, hey, that was it. It's been funny, man. That's why traders are getting flabbergasted. Traditional traders that are looking for their fib retracements, they don't understand. They're getting wrecked because they don't get that we're in a money. You have to be able to move your mind with money printing. Like, you have to be able to be mathematically exponentially seeing how money printing is changing the landscape of how you trade. If you just keep trading traditionally and you can't bend your mind with moving process of liquidity, then you're going to get stuck in the doldrums. And what I mean by that is, yeah, we may not get the retracements we used to get with the amount of money they print now. You may have to start pulling your fib and realize that is your retracement right there. I've been practicing this now since they've started injecting, because since they started injecting more liquidity, the markets have changed. They're going to continue to get far. It's almost like the end of a volcano that's going to, it's getting hotter and hotter every time. There will be that massive meltdown at one point. There will be. And that's why taking profits throughout this process is very important, so that when there's that time, there's cash flow to go after these low assets, because there will be time to take advantage of them. So to me, the daily moving averages are okay. They're not too bad. Could get a bounce here off what looks like a Fibonacci retracement. 786 fib. Low stochastic. Yeah, almost a little hidden bullish divergence. It's slight. Not amazing. Could be stronger. So in a normal period with no money printing, I say this has to dump all the way back down. And again, it is calling for that 12-hour two-headed moving average, that 20, We're going to get to the 8-hour 200. We're going to get to the 4-hour 200. So that's where it is. I mean, you knew it was on a 200 moving average. It's that 3-hour. Looks like the 4-hour. Yeah, almost got to the 4-hour. So you have some supportive resistance here, and you got to the 3-hour two-headed moving average. As long as you stay above, and look, as long as you stay above the 4-hour 200 moving average, you got a pretty good chance. Once you close below that could be bearish. Bitcoin right now has closed below its 4-hour 200 moving average. It starts by closing below the 1-hour 200 moving average. It's attempting to get the reversal now. Back to the upside, the market here. And you can see why we're watching the 1 minute now. The 1 minute is like kind of like the sauce. So you got to get above the 200 moving average on the 1 minute for anything to happen bullishly today. In any way, shape, and form. All right. Kind of meandering here on the trade, but still above the 200. Everything looking all right. We can't look. We're going to let it cook throughout the day. So ETH in a bull flag looking more bullish. Let's take a look at what Bitcoin dominance is doing. Is it giving way to Ethereum? And it is. It's rolling over. That's a good sign, right? Made a head and shoulder there on the 1 minute and just absolutely pile drived itself to the downside, right? And this is great because I really want to see this in a flag here. So if you're bearish, you're going to go back up there, but you're bullish, you'll stay inside this flag. Looks like we're getting a nice little dump here. Resistance, which is a good sign for Bitcoin dominance. That's given way to Ethereum. And now we're going to look at Tether dominance. So people felt like this was just a good time to accumulate altcoins. And you can see there's a dip here in Tether dominance and Bitcoin dominance, which is where's the money going? Into altcoins. Period. Right now. It's slight right now, but it could be the beginning of this. Resistance at the top of this trend line. You don't want to see that make a right shoulder, right? So we call that the rising wedge, and this would be a beautiful move. I mean, this would just, altcoins would pump again. And it shows the strength of Ethereum. Ethereum would lead this charge by not going back below 4,000. This would be very important. So if Ethereum can make this stand this week and put in that work, it's kind of leading the show here. And you can see we're and again, maybe it's just the right shoulder. We'll take what we get in the next 6 to 7 days, but it does suggest a dump down in Tether dominance and Bitcoin dominance, which is pretty awesome, right? Pretty spot on. What do you think? I think that's pretty awesome. Shout out to everybody that threw down today. Thank you for the chat revenue. $58 in chat revenue. You people are absolutely beautiful. God bless you. Thank you. So Palantir, kind of same thing. I would watch the 1 minute on Palantir. If it gets above it, there's a chance that thing starts to move its way back up to 161. Gets rejected, you might start kind of thinking there's a lower low there. And I know you're back. How could you, that's the 1 minute has power, man. Whether you believe it or not, whether you use it to your advantage or you don't. Let's take a look at SHX on the daily. Last time someone asked about it, I must have put it in this rising wedge, suggesting it could break to the upside. Had a target there of 0.38, and it went pretty high. Again, with the whole market dumping, everything took a bit of a pullback, but it's pretty strong now. So let's see what's happening to SHX. And it has a use case, right? Isn't it stronghold? Or I believe you can add it to your chain and make it stronger. Isn't that the whole point? I mean, the weekly's a little far for the 21-day moving average. That's a little, same thing with the 3-day. So I would suggest that the 3-day has to come back to the 21. Looks like it's in a fine, beautiful uptrend, but it does look like it has to find its way here. And again, maybe it's an uptrend. It would be beautiful. So long term, it looks beautifully healthy. But it does take a look like 15 to 20 days before it can start its next bigger pump. To the upside, bit of an uptrending cup and handle, though, and it looks pretty good. I'd watch that 3-day and the 21-day moving average. But hey, you do whatever makes you happy. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. We looked at Epic Chain. It looked bullish to me the last time we talked about it. Saw that it was going sideways in the flag. Looked like it could break out. And by golly gee, oh my, it did. It's pumping hard right now in the last hour. Epic Chain could head to 383. It went from 294 all the way to 321. I did not get a piece of this one, but wow. And you can see the kind of inverted head and shoulder hit inside of that mushy price action there. But what a move for Epic Chain to the upside. I think this is the right coin. We went over it yesterday. Thank you for that super chat. A bit confused here, guys. Please, some guidance. It's fair to assume now bought Bitcoin and Ether overbought, and we could expect an immediate dump. Shout out to Joe Nesso Rodriguez. It's possible, you never know. Now we are starting to get the pullback. It was a nice pump. That's why I take my profits. We were up 500. It's tough to stick in here. We'll see. Can I hide below the 200 moving average and let it cook for the rest of the day? Or do I regret it and go right back to break even, I've seen both things happen. That's why I usually pay the trader. It's been treachery out here with minutes coming on, and So look, the flag did not prevail. We did not get a beautiful pump. Kind of has to bounce right there, or we're looking at right now. Crazy. Rocket Man, you're going to get it. Boy, shout out to you, man. Join the 99 and smash that like button. Shout out to everyone keeping it real since podcast. Vegas Claw is the type of dude to use the Duolingo app to read the VPR. You guys are funny, man. Epic Chain is super undervalued. RWA AI coin, all major exchanges all around $80 million market cap. Thank you. Guys like me who get rewarded the most by actually working hard, learning serious skills and talents. Cash me out. I'm milking loners, losers, and donkey traders. God bless you, man. Shout out to everybody out here. Let's take a look at Matt, USDT. Matt Chain. I mean, right off the bat, it looks interesting, right? See this kind of little bull flag here starting to form. 21 above the 200 moving average. Stochastics RSI pointing to the upside and near a high volume node. Yes, it is. Nice little flag here, too, that tells me there could be a bigger move after this move. Both of these moves look applicable, 95 cents and 76 cents. for the buy-in here at 50 with the higher low. I mean, if we get the push like everything's looking and ETH gets the move and then you get the dominance and then, hey, Matt looks like it could get that pump to the upside all the way to about 76 cents. Definitely worth looking at on the radar. It's a higher low with tight moving averages above the 200 moving average. I'll look at the 4-hour time frame and see what I'm seeing here, and it is still the same kind of ideas. Low stochastic. How about that daily? Daily's a little far for the 21, but you don't have much data on it, so you can't, I like the 22. I like, all time frames look a go-go for this. I say that higher low stands. And again, it's lower volume. They may stop hunt it. I don't know exactly. You can get below that moving average right there with that 3-to-1. This is something I'm looking at. You'd have to have this same, I don't know if your education, whatever you learn. So this is some data I'm looking at. The technical analysis is playing out for me. I like what I'm seeing. I'd have to research the volume and all that too if I was going to trade it now. I don't believe I'm going to trade it, but it looks like it could be the next something pretty hot. That's hot. You're onto something. Thank you so much for that. That thing's spot on. I mean, it's a cup and handle too. Look at it. That's got some cup and handle vibes, if you ask me. You never know. Watch, they could stop hunt it down, and you never know. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of low volume, grimy, like run up and then pump it. So just be careful of the stop hunt in this area. I try to go as low as I can to stay away. Hopefully, they eat enough minnows before they eat me alive. You know what I mean? Like, give them a bunch of people to eat. Here, take this liquidity. I won't be as greedy. I can't make as much, but I'll be okay. It's like the humble trader that stays on the other side of that liquidity. Sometimes while everyone else wants to do 100x and go harder. At least you won't get sniped out every time, right? Oh my gosh. Trade got demolished. At this point, I would move my stop to break even because I don't want to lose any money. If they hit me, so be it. I'll do something different, but dang, man. And look at that. And again, you don't lose money. I don't lose money, but dang. Beautiful trade to the upside there on the move, and we were very risky too with the pump. It's one of those days we're not getting follow through, so be very careful. Mostly on we'd be getting a nice pump here. It's a Wednesday, but a lot of shenanigans with the Fed minutes today. They're playing with it like it's going to be a big deal. Usually they don't. It's like whatever. We go by it and people are like, eh. I've never seen so many people ask me about it like it's a bigger deal than normal. So something's going on today. People got the heebie-jeebies for sure. 5 minutes holding the 200 moving average. Again, could be the most epic long of a lifetime, just like the 1 minute there. Do I have the guts to go back in again? Again. So it would have been clutch. Take it back, right? Away for the 21, take it back. And I even took the aggressive entry. Everyone's like, you could hold it till 6 p.m. See, you can't let people get in your head. Play your game no matter what anybody says to you. And again, I got people saying, but I shouldn't even read the chat for any reason. I mean, I want to read the chat. You know what I mean? Not that I shouldn't read the chat and actually hear if someone's saying something about the trade, right? It's because rates are supposed to be cut, but deep down, everyone knows it's not going to happen. Yeah, it could be that we're all betting on something that doesn't go, and we get the black. That's kind of a black swan. The golden swan the white swan that you never get is a black swan, right? Price looks treachery right now. That was a nasty resistance at 114.3. just said no way. And now you're getting back below the 200 moving average, which is not a good sign. Bearishness for BTC. Random experts here. Sell all your coins. You're funny. Vegas type of guy, Claw. He's the one who said he was holding till 6 p.m. Right? Yes, exactly. Sammy, do you ever sleep? You the man. God bless you, man. Claudio, shout out to Crypto Billy. Aren't rate cuts related to recession? You cut rates because we're in recessions. So wouldn't rate cuts be bearish? We are in a recession, man. Things are so expensive for people, and they keep getting more expensive. They told you we weren't in a recession because the job market is okay because we're printing so much money. But it's, I don't know, man. It's kind of a catch-22 at this point. We're in a new system because there's so much money printing going on. You get it? So, you know, what used to actually make sense doesn't anymore. Like the yield, 10-year yield, and all right. You say get your diver, React, it's going to be a mess. Maybe it will be. React. Reactive network. Get my diaper ready for it. It looks interesting, right? We talked about it. We do have an alert on it. It's getting tighter and tighter. It's now hit the alert and went more sideways. Looks like a good pump. You're possibly right, man. I know nothing about it. It looks very low liquidity, though, which is high risk, but you never know. The job market isn't even okay. Not everyone who would apply for unemployment are eligible. And it took my little brother 6 months applying to everywhere to get a single retail job. Everywhere I go, I see help wanted, man. And I see people that don't, and people telling me they're having a hard time getting people to work. Up on the East Coast, I saw so many places where you could have worked. Help wanted, in need of help. At the local gas station, I see local help. Maybe it's just not the jobs people want, but I see jobs. I see people telling me they can't get people to work. People don't want to work anymore. After COVID, there became this like, I stay at home and do me. And then everyone saw too many creators online. And what happened is they don't realize that creators online work really hard. They work super hard every single day. And so they see a creator online and they think, oh, I'm just going to hit it big doing one of these little things. So they don't find this discipline. They don't do something every day. And they just kind of keep thinking something big is going to happen to them, like doing nonsense, right? Every once in a while, one of those people hits it big like a hawk Tua, and they make a bunch of money and they get famous on the internet. And these people are just praying that they're going to be this like internet thing. They don't realize that the internet is just something that produces value, that if you just spend time with it, it'll give you value back. Produce a product on it, spend time on it, right? I dedicate myself to a live stream show every day on the internet. The internet is full of awesome information and it's full of opportunity. I learned that one day and I said, okay, so I'm going to work on the internet. I'm going to create a persona of myself on the internet that people can interact with and learn from on a daily basis. Therefore, when I go off stream right now and I talk to my kids, talk to my wife, go over the day, someone is still learning technical analysis and looking at what's happening in the charts on a daily basis, right? I don't want to work either. That's why I'm a professional DJ now, 100%. Shout out to Jason Casper in the house. Everybody, Jason. One of the nicest souls in the world. God bless you, Jason. Hope everything's going well with you and your family. As long as our kids are healthy, all is well. May God bless you and everybody in your tribe. May God bless all the lifers here on the live stream. Thank you for being here. My friend just graduated college back in May, and he can't find anything better than his current job working at a drive-thru. He's in Nashville. I just don't believe that. If you're a hustler, people will come after you, and they will want every piece of you. I just feel like if you're not getting enough work, then you're not providing enough value. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's like I'm lucky. I got lucky or something. But I did it, man. I was in unemployed, down and out. Like things weren't perfect. And I started making something out of nothing. I believe anybody could. If I could do it, anyone could do it. I'm not that special. I really believe that. They would have to work 3 of those jobs just to pay their bills. The system is broken, only getting worse. It's insanely expensive to live for many people. That I agree with. The left, right, it will take years to fix. That's why you upload with volume. Right? 50, 60K. Jefferson is buying 200 Ethereum, 2 Solanas, and wants 100. Yeah, funny. I have bachelors in econ and finance and just run my own. You're funny. Not 100% of hustlers. Society is not designed to only reward hustlers. It's designed to improve the quality of life for everyone. And I believe we could do that. if the right people become more powerful at the right times. And I believe that's what God is doing, assembling a tribe of people through crypto, making them wealthy and changing the world. We'll see what happens. I've got faith, everybody, that the good shall inherit the earth over time. And it doesn't always look perfect. And it looks bleak before it looks better. The war starts to look rough when you're about to win, right? It can get very sketchy. So comfortable in hotel management, but still want to trade crypto full time. Is it my dream? And no one can take it away from me. You'll get there, Bryce, if that's what you desire. 100%. My side businesses are busier than ever. I can't get enough help to lay flooring and building decks. See, Chris Gross. Everyone I know, it's like, yeah, I can't seem to get enough help. I hear this a lot from people. Everyone I know that's hustling says they can't find enough people that want to hustle with them. Everyone that's at a low frequency, just letting the life go, says it's been tough. They can't find enough. They can't find work. I feel like it's like we've got into the veil of high frequency individuals and low frequency people. And either you're the solution to yourself or you're not. I mean, I'm the solution to myself. I wake up every single day, slap myself silly if I'm feeling down, get myself going and say, hey, it's time to move, baby. It's time to push. And we do it, right? Today wasn't perfect. I was up 500. Ended up getting stopped out of break even. Now we're looking for, a hold up here and see if we can kind of get back into a flag. Bitcoin is barely holding. Now it's back below the 200 moving average. The signal, we got the signal. All we needed was a move. We did. We got it. We got basically a day's pay too. Was greedy for more, out the flag. Listen to that guy that whispered 6 p.m. nothings into my ear, making me think I could hang. I should have just stayed in the trade. Taking my profits. But again, who cares? Shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's over. I taught you guys how to move the stop loss to break even. I could have hung out and lost money if it doesn't go my way. This still might pump too now. And I'm not done yet. I'll post a win in the trading group possibly. I'm just not done yet, baby. Semi ain't done. If you want to trade live, we're trading here on Weeks. BitTinex and BTC.D, the 3 exchanges I'm using, and MEXC. MEXC, the least amount of fees in the game. I got to talk about MEXC. It's one of the best exchanges in the game. MEXC. And MEXC provides a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful exchange. And their spot trading is amazing. MEXC.com. Check out MEXC.com in the description. I think minimum at 16.5 here in Cali. Minimum wage, yeah. I'm paying $9 per hour and can't find help. The people that say they can't work, they're talking about comfortable office work. All my friends are in trades and can't find anyone to work. I feel you because I have chapters in my life from the past and I appreciate you, brother. God bless you, man. Guys, they've been printing the way out of everything. It can't continue or else we go into hyperinflation. I'm not going to get 50% out of Biddy. No. Stir my life. For real. Try to get people to hustle. So many people said they were about it. Found out I was the only one about it. Oh, yeah. They say they want to go all the way. And when you start going all the way, when it gets really hard, they say, oh, but I want to be home with my wife this weekend. Oh, but I was going to go camping. Oh, you know how many weekends I've given up in my life now? You know what I'm saying? I don't live a cushy life. Like, I go after what I have to every single day. I have a disciplined life that provides a beautiful life around the discipline. But it's not perfect, and it never should be. If your life is so cushy that everything's going so sweet that, something's wrong. There's got to be some hard times, right? It can't be perfect. It's not easy to do the show every single day for 2 hours a day. It's not. I wish it was. But it's also a blessing, isn't it? I'll take every blessing that comes that way in my life. I'm so blessed. So, wow. Maybe we end the show there on that note. So then anyone who wants to live in a house, have a car, start a family has to decline your job offer because $9 can do nothing for people unless you are 100% debt free. Your rent is $500. I believe $9 is very, yeah, I don't know anyone that would work for $9 an hour. You got to be hungry when it comes to the sources of income. Yeah, I could have paid bills if I worked $100 for $9. No one's going to be all right with being paid under the minimum wage. Yeah. Truck driving is a trade, and yet the transportation industry is bad right now and has been for a few years. The transportation industry says a lot about the economy. Companies are shutting down. $9 an hour is a waste of time. Got to short for more than that. You're funny, man. Got to shoot for more than that. Yeah, no, for sure. I thought you said got to short. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude. Wow, I like this. This is a good conversation. A lot of people have something to say. A lot of people decided to write here. I just wanted to keep this open for a minute. Going long now, opening a new trade. I do because I could watch the market. Life is as something good, yeah. God sees you, Sam. You're good. God bless you, Marcel. Got a camping right ready. McDonald's CV in case it goes wrong. Nothing to fear. McDonald's cover letter. Is that what he's saying? I have 3 sources of income, and I'm looking forward to having 2 more and more. Barber Trader Joe, God bless you. Dangler 0.1 minimum. It's also difficult to tell people to pursue careers in fields that may be about to be upended by AI, right? I got Wix 6 jobs in one main. Yeah, I see people like, I'm going to do this, and I'm looking at them, and in my mind, I'm like, don't they realize that job's not going to be here? But I don't say anything. I'm like, oh, I hope that goes well for you. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I mean, you never know. It's everywhere in everything. It affects everybody, though. It's going to affect all of us in a major way. Right? We need 11% gains to get ahead in this climate with food. Good, you know. You're funny. Shout out to Erwick White. We need 11% gains. We need at least 11% gains a day to get us out to the... And I saw a way to produce $500 there out of that trade. Dang. Dash Nebbit. Again, now below the 200 moving average. 21 coming in. Looks like we're going to go lower. That's why I wouldn't touch this unless we consolidate. And now I got to wait here, everybody. I got to wait for this to consolidate. So right now you have to assume we're going to dump. Got to assume this is going to dump. If it consolidates, be lucky and happy and then catch along. I'm playing chess here. I don't know what's going to happen. We get back above, possibly bounce. If not, going back down, I'm testing this low here too. At about 112,400. 9 out of 10 people that can't find work because they think they are worth more than what the jobs are offering. If you truly need money, you'll take any opportunity you can find to make it work. That's what I used to say to people. See, I needed money. I did it. I did a night shift. I did whatever I had to do, and I got where I had to be. Now I see people that will not do what I used to do. They won't do it. They won't. They won't work, you know. I would take night shifts. I worked a night shift and would take weekend work. I'd work 7 days a week for a month straight. Heck, I got shipped to 2 different cities, you know, back to back without a break. You know what I'm saying? Living out of a suitcase, working 14-hour days for 2.5 weeks straight from Philly to Ohio. And I got paid and I shut my mouth and got my money. See, what I learned about a lot of different people as I watched them, because I saw my path to where I went and how I got to where I am today. And then I see them and, you know, and I do, you know, you don't want to compare people like, oh, what's my life? But I compare the path they're on to how I made it. Like, hey, I rocked this way from the beach to the cliff, and they might be going a harder way. You know, you can go up the rock over there. I mean, it's just life, right? And I see a lot of people that are basically, A, make it harder on themselves, number one, and B, they're not willing to go the extra mile to make it happen. Like the other day, I saw this one guy, he's going to forego living, and he's going to live in he has 2 cars. He's going to live in his 2 cars. He's not going to live in an apartment. However he does it, he moves them around different places, and he keeps them, I don't know how he does it, but, you know, that's his thing. And is it unsafe or safe, whatever, wherever he is, and he still has a full-time job. He somehow makes it to work, doesn't look too shabby. He found a way not to look like a mess, whatever, however he does it. And he gets to work on time and does his thing, and he's putting all the money that he's saving into Bitcoin and he's going to do it for the next year and a half. He's going to look back on this 18 months, he says, and never regret it for the rest of his life. And you know what? I was like, you know what? That kid's someone that may actually make it. He's doing, and again, you don't have to go that extreme, but again, why not? I used to say, hey, if you can endure anything, like my dad taught me, you're Irish, you can get through anything. And I went through some tough times in my life, and I got through them. They weren't fun. Like, I felt like I was getting in a washing machine, getting pushed around, like the energy and the beat downs, and just, I also didn't help myself, so my energy was low, and I had to keep, and it was a battle. I felt so old. I remember days when I was in my late 20s, I kept saying, I feel like I'm 90 years old. I know it sounds weird, right? Look, this is a bear flag, everyone. The 21 crossing back below, the rejection of the 200 moving average. That looks like the suck in before the dump down now. And they want to go to those lows at 111. Yeah, so, and again, I did very similar to what that kid did. And I want to tell you my story. Does anyone want to hear my story for a split second here? And I said I was going to, the indicator I'm going to use at the end, I'm going to use the pi cycle indicator. I'm going to be using the pi cycle indicator on the hold on. Let's take a look here. All-time history index. And you can use the BLX. I use the all-time history index. And the indicator is the pi cycle on the weekly, right? Logarithmic without the stock to flow. And, just real quick, whenever these two lines cross, the pi cycle, I'm going to be out of the market. That's when I'm going to be start to sell Bitcoin. And whenever this green line and red line cross, that was our high right there in 2013. It was our high right. Yeah, we almost called it there. I guess it wasn't close enough, but it was starting to become the indicator there. It definitely called pretty dang close to the low, or started to close where the low was. This is where it was spot on, though. 2013. Then it called the high right there. In 2000, that second top in 2013. Both tops. It called this cross right there in the high in 2017. It called this high right there at about 62,000. We did go a little higher. Or no, we went up to, I think we went to 69 both times. Yeah. But we got the high there. And then, we did go higher on the regular chart. This is logarithmic. And now here we are, kind of in a wave of accumulation. And it starts to curve up and touch. And to me, there's no perfect way to, but we start to get that move. This starts to kind of do its thing, and I get 200K, 217, so that's believe where the high is going to be, in my humble opinion. All right. Everyone knows about, he says, no, they don't. Not many people know about it. It's rare. I don't see it. I watch tons of channels. I barely see it. So even if I bring it up, you won't see it, hearing about it again for months and weeks. And then who knows what could happen. So two charts actually look pretty good. Matt and React both look good to us. Fed to us here too on the channel. Spoon feeding us on the channel. Nice pump back above the 200 moving average. Let's go, Bitcoin. That's my signal to long yet again, which is absolutely insane, right? But it's the same signal that I just took. Right there. They're just toying with me now at this point. Says we can get to 116,409. And I'm just pushing the show later. I know it just feels right. I'm just where I got to be. So it is what it is. I'm focused. So moving the show would take me out of focus. So I'm just doing what I got to do. 113,164. Right? Again, that same crazy risk reward, right? So sketchy today, though. I'll be honest. Trading is sketch. And so I'm not going to over risk, but we'll see. We're back above that 200. To find out what's going to happen in this trade, join the trading group. Go to cryptolifer.com. I'll leave you with the cliffhanger. Could be a head and shoulder pattern. We gotta start getting above that 5-minute 200. We gotta hold it. We gotta stay above this too. This is it, man. No more games, Bitcoin. Come on now. You tested it, you lost it, you got back above. Let's go. Let's go. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Shout out to Plumber. Shout out to everybody out here. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the love, and thank you for the likes. Everyone, I'm jumping out of here for the day. May God bless each and every one of you for being here with the Lifer. I'll see you all tomorrow for another amazing, awesome live stream. And I bless you all for being here with me and making this one of the best streams in all of YouTube interwebs, all of Google, anywhere. May God bless you. I thank you so much. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Remember, the secret to success of anything is getting started. And then actually, I thought about it. Getting started is one thing. But repeating it day in and day out and continuing that motion, staying in the motion is key. We got to stay in the motion day in and day out. We got to remove negative people, negative instances, and negative thoughts. Otherwise, we're going to have a hard time staying in the motion. God bless you all. Thank you so much for everything. I'll see you all tomorrow. Stay blessed. Stay amazing. Stay crypto lifers.